Something terrifying is happening right now across the northern United States, and it's not what most people think. Yes, a massive winter storm is unleashing 5 to 10 inches of snow from the Dakotas to the Northeast. But that's not the real danger. The real danger is invisible, deadly, and heading straight for millions of people who have no idea what's coming. In exactly 30 seconds, I'm going to reveal why Wednesday morning could be the most dangerous travel day of the entire year, even in places where it's not snowing. And if you live anywhere from Iowa to Illinois, you need to hear this right now before you get in your car tomorrow. Here's what's happening at this very moment. A powerful winter storm is smashing into the northern plains. Freezing rain is coating North Dakota and South Dakota right now. Snow bands are moving across the Great Lakes, but by this afternoon, things are about to get exponentially worse. A rapidly intensifying low-pressure system is forming in the northern plains. And when I say rapidly intensifying, I mean explosive development, the kind that catches even experienced meteorologists off guard. By early afternoon today, moderate to heavy snow becomes a major concern across Minnesota and North Dakota. But here's the twist that nobody's talking about. Southeastern Minnesota, near Owatonna and back towards Minneapolis, you're not getting snow at 4 to 5 p.m. You're getting freezing rain, ice accumulating on roadways during rush hour. Do you understand how dangerous that is? People leaving work, expecting snow, and instead hitting invisible ice. Minneapolis is mostly going to be freezing rain, with maybe a brief transition to snow right around 5 p.m. But if you're further north, your chances of heavy snow are much higher. By 6 p.m., light snowfall makes its way into Wausau. By 7 to 8 p.m., snow drapes across all of Wisconsin. Milwaukee, Green Bay, northern Wisconsin, all of you are getting hit. And we're not talking light snow. We're talking snowfall rates as high as 3 inches per hour. Think about that. 3 inches every single hour. Now, here's your first reward. At exactly the 3-minute mark, I'm going to tell you about a phenomenon called ground blizzards that could create whiteout conditions tomorrow morning, even where the sun is shining. But first, you need to understand the ice situation, because this is where people are going to get seriously hurt tonight. That pink area, extending from Minneapolis back into the Illinois and Wisconsin border, that's freezing rain accumulating into ice. Some locations could see as much as 1/10 of an inch of ice. Now, 1/10 of an inch doesn't sound like much, does it? Let me tell you something. 1/10 of an inch of ice is enough to snap power lines. It's enough to make roads completely impassable. It's enough to cause multi-car pileups that close highways for hours. By overnight tonight, snow focuses across northern Wisconsin, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and almost all of Michigan. Light to moderate snowfall continues overnight. Minneapolis might see a little more snow overnight, but it's going to be quick hitting, maybe 1 to 2 inches if you're lucky. By Wednesday morning, that snow moves across the Great Lakes towards Ontario. Light to moderate snowfall spreads across the entire Northeast on Wednesday. But here's the thing, Northeast, this isn't your big story. This is only adding 2 to 4 inches for most of you. Your big story comes later. Wednesday into Thursday, this cranks into a massive lake effect snow event. Northwestern Michigan and Watertown, New York, those are your 2 key areas where significant snow becomes a real possibility, all from lake effect. And by late Thursday into early Friday, that lake effect continues hammering those same spots. But we're also going to see more snow making its way across the Rockies into the central and northern plains. This could make a run at the Midwest and Ohio Valley on Friday as a brand new winter weather event. I'll talk more about that at the 15-minute mark. Right now, you need to know about the snow totals from this current system. Widespread 5 to 10 inches of snow anywhere in purple on the map. Northern Minnesota back into northern Michigan, Green Bay and Wausau in Wisconsin. But Minneapolis, you're an interesting case. You could easily see only a coating, almost nothing. But northern suburbs of Minneapolis, you have a chance at 2 to 3 inches. Milwaukee, only expecting a few inches. Nothing crazy. Chicago, not expecting much snowfall at all. Wednesday and Thursday, snowfall accumulation numbers increase dramatically over northwestern Michigan as lake effect takes over, at least around a foot of snow when this event finishes. Near Lake Erie, 6 to 12 inches, likely. But the Northeast, this is where things get absolutely insane. Near Watertown, New York, with those lake effect snow bands setting up, we could see 12 to 18 inches of snowfall. That's not a typo. 12 to 18 inches from lake effect alone. Ice is another major concern. We're not expecting a major ice storm, but get ready for a glazing of ice in central Michigan, northern Illinois, back into southern Wisconsin. Areas like North Dakota, if you're there this morning, a tenth of an inch of ice is much more likely for you. The further south and east you go, the less ice you'll see. Now, here's that reward I promised at the 3-minute mark. And this is critical. This winter storm is going to be extremely windy across the Midwest tonight and tomorrow morning. Why does that matter? Because we already have a lot of snow on the ground outside of where new snow is falling tonight. If you're in Iowa, Illinois, northern Missouri, even Nebraska, where snow is actively on the ground, Wednesday morning could be the most hazardous driving conditions of the entire winter. We could have blizzard-like conditions all across Iowa, with wind gusts widespread between 50 to 70 miles per hour. Let me repeat that. 50 to 70 mile per hour winds, blowing existing snow around, creating whiteout conditions without a single snowflake falling from the sky. This is what meteorologists call a ground blizzard, and it's one of the most underestimated weather hazards that exists. Here's how it works. You wake up Wednesday morning. The sun might even be shining. You look outside and think, oh, it's not snowing. Roads should be fine. You get in your car. You're driving 65 miles per hour on the interstate. And then, in an instant, visibility drops to zero. Absolutely zero. You can't see the car in front of you. You can't see the road. You can't see anything. And by the time your brain processes what's happening, you've already hit something or someone has already hit you. This happens every single winter, but it's not talked about enough. So I'm giving you a heads up right now. Midwest, where there's snow on the ground, we could have blizzard conditions even when it's not snowing. Near zero visibility is a very strong possibility Wednesday. If you absolutely must travel Wednesday morning across Iowa, slow down to 30 miles per hour. Keep your headlights on. Increase your following distance to at least 10 seconds. And if visibility suddenly drops, do not slam on your brakes. Ease off the gas and try to get to the shoulder if you can do so safely. But the storm is just the beginning. What comes after the storm is going to be far worse. Temperatures are about to change dramatically over the next 7 days. And we have more snow coming by the end of this week. Let me show you what's driving all of this. This is our jet stream right now. Think of the jet stream as a river of air in the upper atmosphere. It's what transports weather systems and, more importantly, it's what transports cold air. Right now, we already have a big dip in the jet stream across the Midwest. That dip is where the big storm is forming right now. That's what's bringing tons of snow today. By tomorrow and Thursday, this jet stream is going to get even more intense. It's going to pull massive amounts of energy out of Canada and transport it down into the Midwest, the Northern Plains, even down into the Southeast by Thursday and Friday. This is what's going to trigger a major Arctic blast. And when I say major, I mean potentially record-breaking. Friday and Saturday will easily be the coldest days of this entire week. Extreme cold will be in play where jet stream winds are strongest, which is primarily the Midwest, the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, and across the Northeast. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are going to be brutal. Eventually, by Monday and Tuesday of next week, the jet stream weakens a little bit. That cold air will still be there, especially with northwesterly flow in place, but it won't be nearly as intense. East Coast, expect this weather to stay pretty cold at least through Tuesday. Middle and end of next week, things get more uncertain. But this weather pattern is already promoting very cold conditions. And on top of that, the threat of even more snowfall. Let's talk about exactly how cold it's going to get because these numbers should terrify you. We're going to start with temperature anomalies, which is the difference from average. Thursday morning, we're looking at some pretty cold air across Wisconsin and Minnesota, many areas 20 to 30 degrees below average. But here's the thing, that's just the appetizer. That's not even the main course. Notice, over on the West Coast, we have very warm temperatures right now, all above average in the Rockies and along the coast. By Friday and Saturday, that's not going to change much. Arctic air is going to be building across the northern plains and Canada. And then it's going to unleash across the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, and the Northeast on Saturday and Sunday, while warm temperatures continue in the South and Southwest. Saturday and Sunday, that's when the coldest weather arrives. I think Sunday morning will be the coldest morning of the entire week and probably of the entire month. Honestly, this is going to be crazy. By Sunday morning, we're looking at a widespread area from central Illinois all the way back up into Canada, where temperatures will be 40 to 45 degrees below average. Sub-zero temperatures all in play. This is not normal December cold. This is dangerous, life-threatening cold. Monday and Tuesday, all that cold air sinks down to the south. It reaches areas like Alabama and Mississippi, but notice it won't be nearly as intense, about 10 degrees below average in the deep south. By Tuesday and Wednesday, all that cold air sits across the East Coast and Great Lakes before eventually moving out by Thursday and Friday. Right before Christmas, we could be talking about well above average temperatures across the Great Plains and along the West Coast. But if you're in the Northeast, there's really not going to be any end in sight to the frigid weather. This weather pattern change is bringing extremely dangerous cold to the Midwest and Northern Plains. Here are the actual numbers, and I want you to pay very close attention. Saturday morning, low temperatures are forecasted anywhere from 0 to minus 30 degrees across Minnesota, North Dakota, and almost all of Wisconsin. The freezing line extends all the way down into the deep south. Sunday morning, it's not going to get much better. In fact, many areas Saturday afternoon might not even make it out of negative temperatures. Think about that. High temperatures below zero. December is not always this cold across the northern plains. This has been a very aggressive start to winter compared to previous years. Sunday morning, widespread temperatures anywhere from 0 to minus 25 degrees, from Fargo all the way down towards Milwaukee. Monday and Tuesday, things gradually start improving, but there's really not going to be any end to sub-zero temperatures until at least around December 17th or so if you're in the Midwest. The wind chills are even worse. Wind chill is the feel-like temperature when you factor in wind. It's how cold it actually feels on your exposed skin. Widespread areas are going to be sub-zero for feel-like temperatures. Sunday morning is not going to be much different. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a few areas near minus 50 degrees for feel-like temperatures Saturday morning, especially in northern Minnesota. Let me explain what minus 50-degree wind chill actually means. At that temperature, exposed skin can get frostbite in under 5 minutes. Under 5 minutes! If you're outside waiting for your car to warm up, if you're shoveling your driveway, if you're walking from the parking lot into the store, you can get frostbite. Your fingers, your toes, your nose, your ears. Frostbite is permanent tissue damage. It doesn't heal. The tissue dies and has to be amputated in severe cases. Hypothermia becomes a real risk at these temperatures too. Your core body temperature drops. You start shivering uncontrollably. Then the shivering stops, which is a bad sign. You become confused, disoriented. Your speech slurs. You become clumsy. And if you don't get warm immediately, you die. This is not an exaggeration. People die from cold weather every single winter. Don't become a statistic. If you absolutely must go outside this weekend in the Midwest or Northern Plains, here's what you need to do. Layer your clothing. Multiple thin layers trap air and insulate better than one thick layer. Cover all exposed skin. That means hats, gloves, scarves, face masks. Limit your time outside to 15 minutes maximum. If you start shivering, get inside immediately. Don't try to tough it out. Check on elderly neighbors. Check on people who might not have adequate heating. Check on people who are homeless. This cold can kill vulnerable populations very quickly. Make sure your pets are inside. Dogs and cats can get frostbite and hypothermia too. If you have livestock, make sure they have adequate shelter and access to unfrozen water. Now, here's your second reward point. At the 15-minute mark, I promise to tell you about more snow coming later this week. Here it is. Beyond this current winter storm, we're going to see more snowfall Thursday and Friday. More energy is coming over the northern Rockies. All of this is from an atmospheric river event in the Pacific Northwest that's already dumping huge amounts of rain and snow. That energy makes its way into the northern plains on Thursday, but there's going to be a lot of dry and sinking air across the Midwest and northern plains. So I don't think we're going to see a full-blown winter storm form. But there will be some light snowfall Thursday into Friday that makes its way into the Ohio Valley. Could reach around 1 to 3 inches in some spots. Late Friday and Saturday, a little bit more snow tries to push into the northern plains and Midwest. That'll mostly be for Iowa, Minnesota, perhaps even near Chicago, Indiana, Ohio, Saturday afternoon. Overall, not expecting much. Maybe 1 to 3 inches from that system as well. By Sunday and Monday of next week, things get a lot more uncertain. But as the Arctic blast fills in, we're likely going to see a large high-pressure system form. And with all these pressure changes happening over the next several days, you could experience some headaches Sunday and Monday with how strong the high-pressure system will be. Rapid pressure changes can cause headaches, joint pain, and other physical symptoms in sensitive individuals. Beyond this, things get uncertain. As of right now, just before Christmas, I'm not really seeing any major winter storms. However, that can always change. Weather patterns can shift quickly. What looks quiet today could look active tomorrow. That's why you need to keep checking forecasts daily, especially if you have holiday travel plans. Let me give you some specific city forecasts because I know that's what you really want. Fargo, you're looking at the worst of this Arctic blast. Saturday morning lows around -20 to -25 degrees. Sunday morning, similar temperatures. High temperatures Saturday and Sunday might not even break zero. Wind chills approaching -50. This is extremely dangerous cold. Stock up on supplies now. Make sure your heating system is working. Have backup heat sources ready. Minneapolis, you're getting a complicated forecast. Mostly freezing rain this afternoon and evening with maybe a brief changeover to snow. Ice accumulation causing slick roads tonight. Then the Arctic blast hits. Saturday morning lows around -15 to -20. Wind chills -35 to -45. Not as bad as Fargo, but still life-threatening. Milwaukee, you're getting several inches of snow tonight, but nothing too crazy. Maybe 3 to 5 inches. The real story for you is the cold. Saturday morning lows around -5 to -10. Wind chills -20 to -30. Make sure your pipes are insulated. Leave cabinet doors open under sinks to prevent freezing. Chicago, you're mostly missing out on this snow event, maybe an inch or two at most. But the cold still hits you hard. Saturday morning lows around 0 to -5. Wind chills -15 to -25. Not as extreme as further north, but still dangerous for extended exposure. Green Bay, you're getting hammered with snow tonight. 5 to 10 inches likely? Heavy snow with rates up to 3 inches per hour at times. Travel becomes very difficult to impossible tonight. Then the Arctic blast. Saturday morning lows -10 to -15. Wind chills -30 to -40. Duluth, heavy snow this afternoon and evening, 5 to 10 inches. Then extreme cold. Saturday morning lows -20 to -25. Wind chills approaching -50. You're one of the hardest hit cities. If you don't have to go outside this weekend, don't. Detroit, light to moderate snow overnight tonight, maybe 2 to 4 inches. The cold Saturday morning isn't quite as extreme for you. Lows around 5 to 10 degrees. Wind chills -5 to -15. Still cold, but manageable compared to areas further west. Buffalo and Watertown, New York, your snow comes from lake effect Wednesday through Friday. We're talking 12 to 18 inches possible in the hardiest hit areas. This is a prolonged event. Snow continues for days. Travel becomes extremely difficult. The cold isn't quite as extreme as the Midwest, but you're still looking at single-digit temperatures and sub-zero wind chills. Boston and New York City, you're getting light snow Wednesday, maybe 2 to 4 inches. Not a major event for you, but it will be cold. Temperatures in the teens and 20s through the weekend. Wind chills near 0 to -10. Bundle up if you're going outside. Philadelphia and Washington, D.C., similar story. Light snow Wednesday. Cold temperatures through the weekend, but nothing compared to the Midwest. Temperatures in the low to mid-20s, wind chills in the teens. Uncomfortable, but not life-threatening. Charlotte and Atlanta, you're on the southern edge of the cold. You might see some freezing temperatures early next week as the cold air sinks south, but nothing extreme. Temperatures mostly in the 30s and 40s, maybe upper 20s at night. You're missing the worst of this. Denver and the Rockies, you're in that warm ridge. Temperatures well above average. Sunny skies, dry conditions. Enjoy it, but watch out for fire weather concerns with the dry air and wind. Seattle and Portland, your atmospheric river event is winding down. You've seen incredible rainfall totals. Flooding has been an issue. After this system moves through, you're looking at drier weather. Temperatures near average. What a relief after all that rain. Now let's talk about travel safety, because this is absolutely critical. If you're planning to drive anywhere in the Midwest, Northern Plains, or Great Lakes region over the next few days, you need to seriously reconsider. This is not travel weather. This is stay-home weather. But I know some of you have to travel. You have jobs, you have obligations, you have emergencies. If you absolutely must drive, here's what you need to know. Before you leave, check road conditions on your state's DOT website. Many states have cameras showing live road conditions. If roads look bad, don't go. It's not worth your life. Make sure your vehicle is ready. Check your battery. Cold kills batteries. Check your tire pressure and tread. Keep your gas tank at least half full. Pack an emergency kit with blankets, food, water, flashlight, first aid supplies, phone charger, and a small shovel. When you're driving in snow and ice, slow down dramatically. The speed limit is for ideal conditions. These are not ideal conditions. Increase your following distance to at least 8 to 10 seconds. Don't use cruise control. Accelerate and brake very gently. If you start to slide, don't panic. Don't slam the brakes. Steer into the slide and ease off the gas. Black ice is your enemy. It's invisible ice that forms on roads, especially on bridges, overpasses, and shaded areas. If the road looks wet but it's below freezing, assume it's ice. Test your brakes gently when no one's behind you to see how much traction you have. If conditions get too bad, pull over and wait it out. Find a safe place like a rest stop or parking lot. Don't just stop on the shoulder of the highway. People sliding on ice could hit you. It's better to be late or miss your appointment than to be injured or dead. If you get stuck, stay with your vehicle. Run the engine for heat, but make sure your exhaust pipe isn't blocked by snow. Carbon monoxide poisoning kills. Crack a window slightly for ventilation. Use your blankets, call for help, and wait. Don't try to walk for help unless you can see a building very close by. People die trying to walk for help in blizzards. Flying isn't much better. Expect significant delays and cancellations at airports in Minneapolis, Chicago, Detroit, Milwaukee, and throughout the Great Lakes and Northeast. Airlines will ground flights when conditions get bad. They're not going to risk it. Build in extra time. Have backup plans. Check your flight status constantly. Consider trip insurance if you haven't already purchased tickets. Let me address some questions I know people are going to have. First, will this cold break records? Possibly. Some locations in the Northern Plains and Upper Midwest could see their coldest December temperatures in decades. We're talking potential record lows for the date. Record low maximum temperatures, meaning record cold high temperatures. This is historic cold for December. Second, how long does this cold last? The worst of it is Saturday through Monday. By Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, it moderates somewhat. But the Midwest and Northeast stay below average through at least December 17th. The Northeast might stay cold even longer. If you're hoping for a warm Christmas, you might be disappointed in the northern half of the country. Third, will we get a white Christmas? Too early to say definitively, but with all this snow falling now and cold temperatures preserving it, many areas in the northern tier definitely have a good shot at snow on the ground for Christmas. Whether we get a Christmas Day snowstorm somewhere is still uncertain. I'll have more details on that in upcoming forecasts. Fourth, what about power outages? The ice tonight could cause some isolated outages where a tenth of an inch accumulates, but the bigger concern is the extreme cold putting stress on the power grid. When everyone cranks up their heat to maximum, electrical demand spikes. Some utilities might implement rolling blackouts to prevent grid collapse. Make sure you have backup heat sources like a fireplace or generator. Never use a grill or camping stove indoors. Carbon monoxide will kill you. Fifth, how do I protect my home? Insulate pipes, especially in unheated areas like garages, crawl spaces, and attics. Let faucets drip slightly to prevent freezing. Open cabinet doors under sinks to let warm air circulate. Disconnect and drain outdoor hoses. Cover outdoor faucets. Make sure your heating system is working properly. Change the filter. Have it serviced if needed. Stock up on firewood if you have a fireplace. Sixth, what about my car? If you're parking outside, make sure you have winter windshield washer fluid, not summer fluid. Summer fluid will freeze and could crack your reservoir. Consider using a battery blanket or trickle charger to keep your battery warm. Make sure your coolant is rated for extreme cold. Consider getting an engine block heater if you don't have one. Park in a garage if possible. Seventh, what if I lose heat? This is a life-threatening emergency at these temperatures. Call your utility company immediately. Go to a warming center if one is available. Stay with friends or family. Hotels are an option. Layer clothing and use blankets. Stay in one room to concentrate heat. Eat and drink regularly to maintain body temperature. If your home becomes dangerously cold and you have no alternatives, call 911. This is a legitimate emergency. Now, let me tell you something that's really concerning me as a meteorologist. This pattern we're seeing, with frequent Arctic blasts and active snow, could persist for a while. We're in a La Niña pattern, which typically brings colder and snowier conditions to the northern United States. The jet stream configuration is favorable for repeated cold air intrusions, and we're not seeing strong blocking patterns that would lock in warm air. What does that mean for the rest of winter? We could be looking at a colder and snowier than average winter for the Midwest, Great Lakes, and Northeast. The northern plains could see prolonged cold. The Pacific Northwest could see more atmospheric rivers. It's shaping up to be an active winter. For snow lovers, that's great news. More opportunities for skiing, snowboarding, snowmobiling. But for people who hate winter, I'm sorry, it's going to be a long few months. And for people on fixed incomes worried about heating bills, this is going to be expensive. Consider applying for heating assistance programs if you qualify. Many states offer help to low-income residents. Let's talk about what happens after this immediate threat passes. We've got more weather systems in the pipeline. There's energy coming across the Rockies late this week. Could bring light snow to the Ohio Valley and Midwest Friday and Saturday. Not a major system, but 1 to 3 inches possible. Then, we're watching what happens early next week. As that massive high-pressure system builds in behind the Arctic air, we could see the jet stream set up in a pattern favorable for coastal storms along the East Coast. It's too early to pinpoint specifics, but there are some signals that next week could bring a winter storm threat to the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. Not guaranteed, but something to watch. The week before Christmas is when things get really interesting. Models are suggesting a possible pattern flip. That cold air that's been locked in the east might retreat. Warmer air could surge north from the Gulf. If that happens, we could see above-average temperatures heading into Christmas across much of the eastern United States. But pattern flips often come with storms. Big storms, so we could see a significant winter storm right before or right after Christmas. It's too far out to have any confidence in details, but it's something I'm watching closely. If you have travel plans for Christmas, you need to be prepared for the possibility that weather could disrupt those plans. Have backup plans. Stay flexible. Check forecasts daily. Here's something else to consider. With all this cold and snow, roads are going to be a mess for weeks. Even after this immediate system moves through, we're going to have snow and ice on the roads throughout the northern states. Municipal budgets for salt and plowing are going to be strained. Smaller towns might not be able to keep up. Give road crews grace. They're working around the clock in terrible conditions to keep roads passable. And please, please, please give snowplows plenty of room. Don't pass them, don't tailgate them, don't try to squeeze past them. They have limited visibility. They're often in whiteout conditions. If you hit a snowplow, you're going to lose badly. Just stay back and be patient. One more thing about lake effect snow. For those of you in the traditional lake effect belts, you know the drill. But for people who aren't familiar, let me explain. Lake effect snow happens when cold air moves over relatively warm lake water. The air picks up moisture and heat from the lake. That causes clouds to form. Those clouds then dump incredible amounts of snow on the downwind side of the lake. The snow bands can be very narrow, sometimes only a few miles wide. You could have a foot of snow on one side of town and nothing on the other side. It's incredibly localized, and it can persist for days. Some of the highest snowfall totals in the United States come from lake effect snow. We're talking 20, 30, even 40 inches in extreme cases. If you live in a lake effect zone, you know to have supplies stocked. You know to stay home when it's really going. But if you're new to the area, take this seriously. Lake effect snow is no joke. It can shut down entire cities for days. All right. Let's wrap this up with a forecast summary and critical action items. Today, major winter storm impacts the Midwest, Northern Plains, and Great Lakes. 5 to 10 inches of snow. Freezing rain causing ice accumulation. Travel becomes difficult to impossible tonight. Wednesday morning, ground blizzard threat across Iowa and surrounding areas. 50 to 70 mile per hour winds. Whiteout conditions possible even where it's not snowing. Extremely dangerous travel. Wednesday through Friday, lake effect snow hammers northwestern Michigan and Watertown, New York, 12 to 18 inches possible. Additional light snow crosses the Ohio Valley and Midwest from another system. Thursday and Friday, Arctic blast begins. Temperatures start dropping. Friday and Saturday, extreme cold arrives. Saturday morning lows 0 to minus 30 degrees in the northern plains and upper Midwest. Wind chills minus 30 to minus 50. Life-threatening cold? Sunday morning, coldest morning of the month, widespread sub-zero temperatures. Dangerous cold continues. Monday and Tuesday, cold moderates slightly but remains below average. Cold air sinks into the south. Wednesday through Friday of next week, cold persists in the northeast. Possible warming in other areas. Week before Christmas, pattern may flip. Possible winter storm threat, possible warm-up. Too uncertain for details now. Critical action items. If you're in the path of this snow tonight, get home early. Stock up on supplies now. Don't wait until conditions deteriorate. If you're in Iowa or surrounding areas, avoid travel Wednesday morning if at all possible. Ground blizzard conditions likely. If you're in the Midwest or Northern Plains, prepare for extreme cold this weekend. Have emergency supplies. Check your heating system. Protect your pipes. Limit outdoor exposure. Everyone in the northern tier states should have an emergency kit ready. Food, water, medications, flashlight, batteries, first aid supplies, phone charger, blankets. If you have travel plans this weekend in affected areas, seriously reconsider. This is dangerous weather. Don't take unnecessary risks. Check on vulnerable populations, elderly neighbors, people without adequate heating, people experiencing homelessness. This cold kills. We need to look out for each other. Bring pets inside. Protect livestock. This isn't weather that anything should be outside in. And finally, stay informed. Check forecasts multiple times per day. Conditions can change rapidly. What looks marginal can become extreme quickly. Have multiple ways to receive weather warnings. Your phone, weather, radio, local news. Don't rely on just one source. This is a significant weather event. Multiple threats, multiple days, wide geographic area, millions of people affected. But if you're prepared, if you're smart, if you're careful, you'll get through it. Knowledge is power. You now have the information you need. Use it wisely. One last teaser for the next video. I'm going to do a complete Christmas forecast breakdown. City by city predictions. Travel outlook. Winter storm potential. Pattern analysis going into the new year. You don't want to miss it. This is going to be crucial information for anyone with holiday plans. Stay safe out there, stay warm, take care of each other, and remember, winter always ends. Spring always comes. We just have to get through these challenging days first. I'll see you in the next forecast.